It's a radical thing to tell the people of central Indiana that Indianapolis is safe, that everything is fine, and that crime is going down. And it's radical because it's as if you do not see, or they do not see, or anybody who would say that would not see what it is we see. Another shooting has taken place. We know it was a violent weekend. We seem to be saying violent weekend a lot lately. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC, good morning. Great to be with you. But there was, if you've been catching the news this morning from Ryan Hedrick in the WIBC newsroom, he did an interview with an IMPD officer by the name of Tommy Thompson. And they've been playing some clips of that interview. I want you to hear what got said, the question asked by our Ryan Hedrick in the WIBC newsroom, and Diego Morales, Secretary of State. It's the newsroom because we do news here, and then people like myself do commentary. Everything you said about WIBC being fake news was a lie. You and Lindsay Eaton, your Tokyo Rose, liars and frauds. Don't think we've forgotten about you, FN Diego. FN, fake news, Diego. He called us fake news, but of course we do report news here and we do commentary here. He was never able to back up his words, nor was his spokesperson. So we just referred to him as fake news, Diego, or really just to make it easier, FN Diego. Makes sense, right, Carl? Right, producer Carl?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So FN Diego, that's it. To this moment, you've never proven what it is you said. It's a lie. The ridiculous response from Lindsay Eaton should mean she never gets hired for anything. You understand that we still see you. You absolute low-rent frauds in this situation. You lied about us. You acted like Democrats. You think you're Trump? On what planet do you think you're tough enough, smart enough, capable enough, or able enough? Good Lord. Any delegate thinking of voting for Diego Morales is out of their minds. We can do better. No, he hasn't worked harder than anybody else and hasn't hired the best of the best of the best. He's hired his brother-in-law, and he hired a woman to basically say anything in order to keep her job. That's what happened. But this interview is very interesting from Ryan Hedrick in the WIBC newsroom. Listen. Forgive me right there. It wasn't going through the right speaker, and I needed to go through the right speaker. Now we've got it.
Chief Bailey has talked about perception versus reality in terms of crime numbers. When people are looking at this, they're not thinking about crime numbers. They're just seeing the yellow tape, the forensics van, the children in the back, the man in the back of the car. They're looking at the real totality of these crimes. What can you say to people who say, well, whatever the chief says, we still think crime is up?
You know, and I don't know why that is. If that's a social media, it has, you know, we have so many different forms of social media, and it's out there more in our face and in our hands instead of a newspaper, the older form. But it is down, right? The statistics show it's down. 5 years, we have over 25% down in violent crime. That's huge. But that's what we need to continue to see. Chief Bailey said it, though. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue to drive that number down because we have a responsibility to the victims. Every victim deserves to have us solve their crime, so that they have a voice, because if they're no longer with us, they don't have a voice, and we are that voice.
The fundamental flaw with your arguments, officer, is the very idea of how much has crime gone up. And you argue 25% over 5 years, and yet every day is this. The argument that this is social media is you saying the problem is we're talking about it. We have a crime problem in Indianapolis, and no plan at all, seemingly, to handle it. You think that this is an attack on you. We recognize this as the problem with our society. We discuss it here, at least for this show, as a problem culturally, which the mayor, Joe Hogsett, refuses to address. which civic leaders refuse to address. I would say that that's a cowardly thing to do. It must be addressed. Well, to address it, you might get called a name. Someone might think you're bigoted in some way. Oh, holy hell. Do we want a society that works or not? The argument is there's too much social media is not an argument that works, sir. It's a really bad mistake. And to say that to Ryan Hedrick, who asked the right question, you keep talking about numbers being down, but look at what people see every day. Well, that's because the people see too much. That's what you answered, officer. It's not an answer. Here's what we are doing. We need to be their voice. With all due respect, no one needs to touchy-feely. We don't want to necessarily know what's happening ipso facto. We want to know what's happening to stop things. What level of ability do we have to go about making that happen? And I put forth to you that I do not believe, and I've stated here repeatedly, that it is specifically just and only a policing issue. It is a cultural issue that comes from leadership, and that leadership is absolutely lacking from our mayor, absolutely lacking in many ways from our council, and completely lacking from our so-called civic leaders who want to tell us that we can't even allow any state intervention to making this a better city. Please don't tell us we're paying too close attention. And the problem is violence is down. You're just not willing to accept it. It's not down in any measurable way that can make Hoosiers feel that Indianapolis is a great, safe place. That's the problem. Perception is reality.